So,
Yes, sir.
the first question I want to ask you, man, is what business do you do that you're bringing that God put in your heart for the kingdom? What is that business?
Yeah, I'll definitely get into that. First, it's the first episode, right?
First episode.
So yeah, I
Yeah,
just want
yeah.
to say thank you for even considering me for the first episode. Such
Fire.
a blessing, bro. I appreciate it. Let me just throw that out there before I get started. But yeah, it's definitely CHRISTWAY. So I'll get into like
Right.
what got it to where it is now. So I was in the military. As I was getting out of the Marines, I was actually rapping. I
Okay.
rapped. Um, I performed. It was all secular underground stuff.
Right.
And I would get, a lot of pay to plays. You know
Yeah.
what those are, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I was doing a lot of that stuff, and I was kind of just like, "Hey, this kind of sucks to be
Yeah.
an artist out here." Like, it seems like a lot of people are trying to make a quick buck off of an
Right.
artist. So I
Right.
was like, I need to figure out how to change this. Um, so then I started. It was on Facebook. I started a page. It was called Hip Hop Society, and I just started promoting artists. I started like getting artists together and doing ciphers, um, and it kind of grew. And I started working with like bigger artists, all secular though.
Right. Right. Right.
I got to collaborate with artists from Strange Music, Rock
That's
Nation.
fire.
Yeah, I did little tours, and I stopped making music for a minute, and I kind of just became a like executive.
Yeah.
Um,
Facts.
so I was doing all that, and it's just, I mean, obviously you're kind of dabbling in it right now, so
Yeah.
you're gonna see
Yeah.
it's hard to be creative when you're on the business side of stuff. You just can't quite.
Facts.
It's hard to juggle those.
Facts.
Um, so I stopped making music. I would produce here and there, but just it was just too busy. And then at this time, I was not saved. Um, I was really in the world. I was in addiction, like drugs and alcohol.
Right.
Um, like that was just my life. And then in my late 20s, um, I had some issues with that brand with trademarking.
Okay.
Uh, it's really lame, but like somebody had used my name, the Hip Hop Society name, for something years ago, and
Oh my.
they saw how I was getting some traction,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they got Facebook to shut all my things down.
Wow.
Um, and they've still to this day they've tried to use that name to do things, but
Right.
they're
It
not
doesn't go
me.
nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't replicate me.
Yeah.
So it's
Facts.
just a name. So
Facts.
I honestly, for it took me like a year of just like I was just like, dang, what am I gonna do? Which is
Right.
great because at the time it sucked, but I wasn't saved yet.
Right.
So imagine if I would have just kept going up, up, up. That's not what God had in store for me. So it sucked. I
Facts.
took the L, but in that time, uh, I went to rehab. I got off alcohol. I surrendered my life and accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior.
Wow.
I went to school for my audio production degree. And there I was just like growing in faith too, and kind of dabbling with secular and Christian hip hop a little bit
Right.
in both. And I
Right.
had been
Right.
doing that for a few years because I just wasn't sure what going fully into CHH was going to look like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then I did I did a show, and it was both secular and Christian artists.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that night was the night where I was just like, I'm never working with secular again, because
Was it more like they were like God was showing you what they were about? Is that why, or was it just
I that, but also like I knew the responsibility that I held by enabling a platform where people were bold about promiscuity
okay?
or drugs or this and that, and I was just like, oh, I can't do that anymore. Like I can't have a platform that does that because I'm gonna have to answer to that. You know
Ooh,
what I'm saying?
fire.
So yeah, so I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
and it sucked. And I had partners, and I had to buy out my partners, and that's when CHRISTWAY was born. And I was just like, it's gonna be just CHH now.
Wow.
And it's been a journey with, obviously, with like income. When it's
Right.
secular, there's more avenues for revenue.
Right.
But I've just been faithful, and everything I did before, like what I mentioned with the ciphers and the touring, I plan on doing everything, but all in CHH now.
Wow.
So yeah, like the cipher stuff, even though these were the first CHRISTWAY ciphers,
Right.
I've been doing ciphers for 10 years and going all over the country. I've gone to Atlanta and Colorado and Texas and all these places with local artists.
Right.
But now it's just full for the kingdom. And yeah, it's been crazy.
Man, no, and that's what I really loved about CHH, about CHRISTWAY Media, bro, because I'll just be transparent, bro. I was there in the beginning. I
Yeah,
mean, when you
yeah,
were making that transition, we were talking about that, man. Like,
yeah,
I remember you expressing that, like, man, like I just want to go all in, and I was there, like it was,
yeah.
and you had told me like this is so. So if you guys don't know, CHRISTWAY Media did a cipher at the SoCal Revival Fest, and it was such an amazing turnout. If you guys haven't looked at the videos, go look at the videos on my boy CHRISTWAY. What is it? CHRISTWay YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's CHRISTWAY Inc. Everything
CHRISTWay
is, the
Inc.
username is CHRISTWay Inc. Yeah,
See, and if you guys can go look at the ciphers, and you could go look how the quality of the ciphers were. It
yeah,
wasn't
it's
just
dope. It's
bro.
dope.
It wasn't just like a regular backyard video. Like it came out sick,
Yeah,
big dog.
yeah. I like it. I
the
like
the
it.
mix and mastering was fire. And
Appreciate you.
when you sit back, bro, like um where did I know you said you went through your journey, right?
Yeah.
Where was the time where you were just like, like were you going through things when you were just like, God, I'm done? Like, was it, obviously you said it was that last show,
Yeah.
but was there something else that confirmed it for you? Like, yo, this is what I need to do.
Um, I think that was something I was just kind of like battling with for a couple years, to be honest. Like,
Right.
I was talking to John Revelator, Pastor John Revelator, on the podcast actually just dropped
Mm-hmm.
today, but on that
I watched
episode
it.
we recorded it, and we talked about that. It's where like you try to dabble in both worlds, and I don't know if it was from me and growing up, and my testimony has like a lot of trauma, and my dad not being around prison and all these things,
Right.
and I think that kind of instilled in me something where I like to be
Right.
liked. Like I don't want to, like, I want to make sure I please everyone. So I was just like,
Right.
I felt like a lot of times I was giving up my own beliefs just to be accepted in
Ooh,
certain
fire.
areas,
Fire.
and I had to grow out of that. And I was just like, the only acceptance I need is Jesus Christ.
That's fire.
So anything else, like, I had to learn to kind of cut off, and it was hard. I had to, like, people would be inviting me like, oh, let's go to the studio, this and this, and I knew they'd be smoking
Right.
or drinking, and I was
Right.
just like, even though I knew I wouldn't give into those temptations,
Right.
as sanctification is a process, and as I've been growing in that process, I don't even allow myself to be around people, places, things
Yeah.
that would even plant seeds of temptation in me. So,
That's
like,
fire.
it was like an ongoing process, but that show, it was like the moment that for sure was the moment where I was like, I'm not even passionate about what they're doing.
Right.
So it's like, what is the reason for me to keep going there? Like, I'm not getting anything out of it. It's all for them.
Right.
At least with this, like, I do business stuff, like we talk, like, you business
Right.
stuff on the side that we're doing so
Right.
that this could be nonprofit.
Right.
One thing that they asked was like, oh, if money wasn't an issue, like if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? And people were like, oh, I'd buy this car, I'd buy this house, I'd travel here. And
Right.
I was the only one was like, I'd be doing the exact same thing I'm doing now.
Wow.
I'd be doing Christway.
That's fire.
That's
That's
when I was
fire.
like, okay, like I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
Because I could have $1 billion tomorrow. I'm still going to be trying to do these ciphers, podcasts, etc., growing the platform. So I'm like, all right, this is where I'm supposed to be at. So I know I could keep investing myself. But with that show that I did,
Yeah.
nah, there was nothing motivating me to stay there.
Your spirit spirit man was just like telling you, hey, this is
Absolutely.
not for me.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope, man. How do you balance how do you balance your responsibilities as an entrepreneur and your commitment to your family and church and the community? How do you balance that?
Um, that's something, honestly, I'm still trying to balance.
Okay.
Like, because I serve in ministries at my church, and even my girl, she's been telling me lately, like, you have to start learning how to say no at
Okay.
church.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah, I don't have kids yet, but like all this stuff, I know it's a learning process. So I'm learning that like now I have to start saying no so that when I do have kids, it's like I already know like family is the first ministry before anything else.
That's facts.
So
Facts.
I don't have kids, but like I'm realizing now, like okay, this could get bad. But you know, I serve at church, and even like you could kind of agree with this. While SoCal Revival Fest isn't church,
Right.
CHRISTWAY is not church.
Right.
It's not a supplement for church.
Right.
They are ministries.
Fire.
So pretty much every day of the week we're serving to some
That's good.
capacity. So I have to make sure I keep that in mind and be like, all right, I'm still serving, so I don't have to feel like I'm not serving at
That's
church
fire.
in like if I'm not doing enough because I this is serving because at the end of the day, even the outreach show, that's all evangel, that's all for the kingdom. So I had to make sure that I realized it is a
Right.
ministry. So if I had to pull back at church for some things, I'm still serving. So it's not like I'm just being lazy and not contributing to the kingdom. But
That's
that's
fire.
something I am juggling still
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
like I had to tell someone I was like, hey, I'm only gonna be available 2 weekends out of the month, like every other weekend, because I'm in seminary school too. Like
Dang. That's
that's
right.
tough.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's tough,
That's
bro.
right.
So, but at the end of the day, I'll figure it out. I'm not stressed too much about it. And even then, like you're busy, I am crazy busy. So
Right.
I'm sure you are too.
Right.
I
Right.
used to pray for days like this. So it's a blessing, and I'm just
Facts.
gonna figure it out because I'm sure it's not always gonna be this
Yeah.
busy. But you know how Kobe Bryant. I'm gonna mess up the quote, but he talks about the dreams, like what your dream is,
Yeah.
and your dream isn't like the championships and all that. It's the whole process. So
Right.
I'm very conscious of that, and I'm very grateful for the every little view, every little subscription follower I'm getting because
Yeah.
I know that this is what I'm gonna look back on and be like, oh man, you remember when we were like building it? Like, oh, that was so fun. So I
Facts.
stay real present with
Right.
that. And I'm just real grateful, and so I'm cool. I'm just taking my time with it.
Right. Right. That's the same with me. I remember my wife. She had told me was it 2 weeks ago? She was like, hey, babe, you feel like you're doing a lot? And I was like, I sat back and I asked her this. You know, what I mean, no offense to my wife, but I was like, are you not doing enough? And she was like, what? And I said, yeah, you said I'm
Yeah,
doing a lot, but are you not doing enough? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like God's really showing me, bro, how to balance. Like, what was it last week? Like, a pastor, a prophet really spoke into us, and he was just like, hey, man, you have to learn how to balance your family life with everything that you're doing
yeah,
with the kingdom. And so God was like, he goes, it's simple. Keep it simple. On the weekends, shut everything down.
yeah,
Saturday and Sunday is your family time. Monday through Friday, you grind. But in order for you to communicate that to your wife, you got to talk to her. And I said, you know what? I told my wife, I said, you know what? Is it cool if I grind Monday through Friday? On the weekends, it's us. And she was like, yeah, I'm cool with that. And so now, like, there's communication there,
yeah,
bro. And so Saturday, bro, usually like the weekends go like this.
yeah. They do,
Saturday,
bro, so fast.
Saturday and Sunday felt like it was just relaxing and it slowed
Yeah,
down. And I was like, okay, God, now I understand. Be very cautious on what you do and balance
yeah.
your walk and your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even that, I'm like, I'm still trying to figure it out because Sunday I'm serving, and then
Right.
Saturday I'm shooting the podcast. So technically,
Right.
I'm just always doing something every day. And I thought
Well,
about that the other
yeah,
day. I talked to my girl, and I was like, I think I might be overworking myself
that's
because
good.
all weekday I'm doing it. Saturday I'm shooting the podcast, sometimes 2 episodes, and then Sunday
Wow.
I'm serving. Um, and then we have like a business meeting that we're gonna do Sunday nights. So I'm just like, I don't have any time off.
Right.
Um, but I'm cautious and conscious of it, and I'm even
Right.
thinking like maybe, people have their 9 to 5s and everything. Like maybe I should like hit a certain limit on weekdays too, and
Yeah.
just be like, hey, at this
Facts.
time I'm off, bro. I'm off. I'm sorry. I'm building, with my family. I'm trying to build towards something. I need to make sure I'm not just burnt out.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to anybody, or I don't mean this in a negative way, and I'm sure you might experience it too, but like I'm all for collaborations.
Right.
I'm down to work with anybody,
Right.
but sometimes I feel like people are just taking from me. Like they don't really have anything. We're not building towards anything. It's just like what can they get out
Added
of me?
you. Yep.
And I'm just
Facts.
and I feel that sometimes, and I'm like I'll still do things for people, but I'm just like I have to make sure I'm conscious and cautious
Yeah.
of that. So I'm just like, all right, I need to not pour myself too much into something or someone that isn't gonna pour back or isn't gonna like try to do something with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a process. It's a process, bro.
That's a hard process, bro. Even as an entrepreneur, man, because you built. That's why with the Revival Fest, bro, it was hard to ask for help. Like I don't know if you've seen, bro. Like me and my wife, bro, we were doing the vendors. We were making sure
Yeah,
the VIP was good. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that did put their hand into it, man. But it was a lot. And then afterwards, that's when God was showing me, like, hey, you can't do this alone. You
yeah,
got to build a team. You know what I mean? You got to be able to have a team around you so that way you can, hey, can you do this for me? Hey, can you do that for me? Once you have a team, bro, everything starts moving
yeah,
like a wheel. You know what I mean?
for sure.
Like a full wheel, bro. And I'm learning that as I speak. I'm like, man, like God, you know what I mean? All right, I'm with it. You know what I mean? Like,
That's same for me, bro. Like in the last year or two, like it it took me so long, and I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 12 years, music industry stuff,
right,
and it wasn't until this last year where I've been okay with like giving a little more of like the what I'm expecting, like even like editing and all this stuff. I used to like oversee everything, and
right.
now I'm like entrusting people to handle it.
That's
And
fire.
before I was just like, I can't let you mess with my baby. Like
Right.
this is mine. But I've been learning. But
It's
also, you know,
facts. It's facts
praise,
right there,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. But
Yeah,
praise God too, because I prayed and the team has prayed for the right people to come. So it's not just like I'm giving it to
that's good.
anybody. The right people have finally came, and I'm like, oh, they see my vision. They want to work towards that too. So it's like I'm okay with them, but that was a long time of meeting these people, prayer,
Yeah.
fasting, and now they're starting. The pieces are coming together now.
Coming together. That's facts. That's facts, bro. So, is there a scripture or something that helped guide you through this entrepreneurship? Like, is there something that stuck out to you that a pastor spoke or a scripture that you read and it was like, all right, this is confirmation for me to build something like this?
Oh, I feel like there's been a like there's not one that like clicked,
Mhm.
but I know there's like two scriptures that just came to mind when you asked that I just started using is First Peter 4:10, and it's about using your gifts to serve others.
That's
And I
good.
think I think that is encapsulates what Christway is about. It's
That's
like
good.
whatever you're creative in, whether it's videography or music, rapping, beats, any kind of creative expression, that you
Right.
use your gifts to serve others and glorify God and expand the kingdom.
Wow.
Um, so like that verse has been. I even got it on my graduation thing. I got it
Fired.
on
Hey,
the.
man. First of all,
Hey,
salute, salute my
appreciate you.
dog. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
appreciate
man.
you. Yeah,
Fire.
yeah. I got it on there, and then the other one is just one that I go to a lot, and it's Proverbs 3:5.
Yeah,
To not lean on your own understanding, and
that's good.
that's just like I guess in life in general, but like I I I use that a lot with what we're doing because with serving others and using our gifts too. I'm sure you've experienced a lot now as well. Is that these groups? and that we're tapping into and individuals, it's
Right.
fellowship. We got
Right.
fellowship,
Facts.
and through that is like even in music, I even in the last few months after the ciphers, the cipher artists, I've been like getting checked in certain areas where I'm like, where's my posture on this
Wow.
or that? Like I
Wow.
have to like realign things. And that's why fellowship is so important because sometimes you know your own thoughts. You if you're not in scripture every day, you thoughts might wander a little bit.
Right.
So yeah, I love fellowship. And back to SoCal Revival Fest, bro. Like being on that stage, like I had all these hopes for what the ciphers would be
Right.
like. Blew any thought
Come
I had out of the water.
come on,
Like
somebody.
yeah, I was just like, oh, this is different. Like
Right.
this is special.
Right.
Um, like this could bring a lot of people together and save people
Right.
because I know from my experience why I'm so passionate about Christian hip hop is because how I told you how I was in the world with hip hop. I
Right.
know me at 24 years old, if somebody would have came evangelizing with the Bible, like, hey, this says this, I would have been like,
Push it
no
to
one's
the
trying to
side a
hear
little bit.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You bring like a Christian rapper, I would have been like, wait, Christians could do
Yeah.
that, and then I would have
Facts.
just been more open to it. Still, the Holy Spirit is gonna do what
Yeah.
the Holy Spirit is gonna do,
Yeah.
but it's just
Right.
like I would have been more receptive to that. So I like to keep that in mind. And while I still go out to, well, you know where Southgate is,
Yeah.
Southgate,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
park, we go evangelizing there, and we do that. But like I know CHRISTWAY and the Christian hip hop and the ciphers, that's gonna pierce people
Expand.
too.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all these different avenues to reach because at the end of the day, it's all about glorifying God and expanding the kingdom. And
Yeah.
man, fellowship is key, bro.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Well, I know we had spoke about so when you had brought up the vision, right? Like I was like, what the heck? Like it just blew my mind when you were like, because it was your vision, bro. Like God put this in your
Yeah,
heart. And so what God has shown me was like, how dare you stop another what I put in somebody else's heart? And I was like, dang God, because I was so pumped when you were telling me. I was like, what
yeah,
the heck? Okay, how are we gonna do this now? Because you know what I mean. Like we were just putting everything together, just like all right, God, how you know what I mean? And that's when I was like, you know what, my boy Jesse has it all together. You know what I mean? Like okay, God, that's when I was able to just be like, all right, bro, this is your vision. I remember I told you this is your
yeah.
vision, bro. Whatever you want us to do, we're here. We're just a stage. That's it. And bro, you guys killed it, dog. Oh my gosh, man! Those videos are actually going to be dropping, I believe, next week
Okay,
on the SoCal Revival
yeah,
Fest page.
that's good
Um,
because the last cipher drops Friday, so it'll be perfect.
perfect,
Yeah,
perfect timing. Yeah. So I want to ask you, man, like, how do you integrate Christian principles into your entrepreneurship? Like, how do you the principles as of being a Christian? How do you
yeah.
integrate that?
Oh man, I think it's just about like the main one is I mean the golden rule. Well, first loving God with all your heart and your mind and your soul,
Right.
but it's also about treating others how you would like to be treated.
Facts.
And I think even no matter what I do, business or anything, like that's my approach is that I want to show them love and
Facts. Yeah.
Jesus love. Even if they're in sin, I'm not gonna uh, damn them or anything like that, but I will try to like bring them to the light. But
Right.
like that would be the main thing is showing Jesus love and treating them how I like to be treated. And
Right.
from there, bro, honestly, like, man, if you would have known me before I got saved, like I was quiet and insecure and all these things and just getting saved. Now everyone like I meet them and they're like, oh, you're always so happy and this and that. And I'm
Right.
just like, that's not how I used to be.
I'm
That's all God.
a whole
You
different
changed.
person.
Yeah, I'm a completely different person.
Facts.
And now that's how I treat everyone. Like I'm like happy to meet people. I'm
Right.
excited to talk to them, hear about their stories. And in business, that has helped a lot because obviously, if you're friendly and stuff, people are gonna want to know what you're doing and work
Right.
with you.
Right.
And yeah, but let me take it back to what you just said about the whole cipher thing, just because like I just want to give you your flowers too. Like the fact that like me and you hadn't really talked that
Right.
much, and then you were so receptive to it, bro. Like that
Yeah.
just shows like your grace and your heart and your humility. Because I know I've tried to, even with the ciphers, do stuff with people, and they don't like trust my, not even trust my vision. It's just like I have literally asked people. I had people tell me this sentence I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Okay, but what am I gonna get out of it? And I'm just
Wow.
like, what? Wait, I thought it was about glorifying God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I've heard that from two people, and
Wow.
and after that, I'm just like, I mean, I'll pray for you, but I just
Yeah.
know we're not quite in the same. We don't have the same goals.
Right.
So the fact that you're so receptive, bro, like that's so dope. Like I'm the same way. Like anybody could hit me up right now. I have people like smaller, um, CHH like media companies that have come to me and asked
Yeah.
me like, how do you make posts? How do you do this?
Wow.
And I'll show them how I do it. And I'm just because at the end of the day, if they grow bigger than my page, cool, because
Yeah.
that's more eyes on God. Like I don't care, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know why there's so much gatekeeping and
Yeah.
like people don't want to give it up. Like then check your
Facts.
posture because it's not about God if you're worrying about you, who's gonna take from you. So
Yeah.
but man, yeah, I thank you for that. And I mean, that shows how your where your heart is and how you
Yeah.
incorporate Christian principles with your business.
Look,
Because you just,
I just get the chills as you
yeah,
saying that, bro, because it's not, it was all God, bro.
amen.
Like, you must have prayed, bro. And
I
when the
did.
vision was presented, bro, it was just like, it was bigger, bro. For me, it was just big. Like, this is huge. Like, CHRISTWAY cipher. And then once you started getting the ball rolling, bro, it was just like the videos were coming in like, what the heck? Like, never in my mind would, you know what I mean? And we're sitting there like, I didn't have no say in the judging, you know what I mean? But there was a few guys that I was like, yo, hey,
Yeah,
this guy needs to get pushed a little bit, you know what I mean? This guy's
yeah.
dope, you know what I mean? But it was like God really had his hand on it, man. And, just to, the next one is going to be even bigger, you know what I
Oh,
mean? Because
no
we've been
doubt.
talking about it, we've been planning stuff, and it's like, if that bridge would have been up and would have been like, hey, what can you give me? Or pay me for the artists that need to come up, like, bro, like, we would never be sitting right here.
Yeah,
The context that you have, that you've gained through that cipher, bro. These guys are some dope artists.
so dope,
You,
so dope.
man, like, and nobody's using them.
Yeah,
Nobody's like putting them where they need to be, except for you.
yeah.
And it's
And
like,
and not only are they dope
yeah,
artists, like they're leaders. Like
facts,
they are
facts,
leaders. Like when I
facts.
was hearing about them and what they do, I'm just like, okay, this platform isn't just about music. It's about people that could go make disciples and like do all these things with outside of music too. So like the
Yeah,
fact that, God has placed me in a position to do that and you too, bro, like man,
yeah,
it's exciting. And like, you talk about the contest, like when I was I was thinking about it, like the way that we started the contest,
yeah,
it was kind of quick.
yeah,
So
facts.
now with how we're planning the next one, like I can't even imagine how crazy that's gonna be.
Yeah,
Like that's gonna be
yep.
wild.
But it
Um,
took one. That's the thing that a lot of people are saying. It took one event for it to be a snowball effect.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? So now the first one is done. Obviously, there's a lot of things that you probably in your head, you know what I mean, that you were like, dang, I wish I would have changed this.
yeah,
Dang, I wish I would have done this. You know what I mean? But now you sit there and be like, all right, God, thank you for that. Because that's with the Revival Fest, bro.
yes,
That's what we're doing. We're just like, oh, man, hey, that didn't work out. That worked out. No, we're not doing that again. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And with the CHRISTWAY cipher, bro, I believe it's going to be more submissions than what it was this last time, man. And
yeah.
it was just a snowball effect. You know what I mean?
And it's been like that since then, where it's just like this person reaches out, and then it's just been like just constant
Yeah.
people, and I've been mad busy, all these ideas,
Yeah.
but I've just been praying, been praying on it, and yeah, things are getting like booked up so quickly, but
Right.
it's just so dope, and making sure. to have that time to check my posture has been like
That's
the
good.
thing I have been doing a lot as of late, because sometimes you get lost in all these projects and all these things seem cool, but it's just like, all right, let me get recentered. How it was God getting glorified through this
Facts.
or this or this. That's why even with the community outreach stuff I'm doing now, like I want that to be like I want Christway to be the community outreach and the ciphers,
That's
and
good.
those be like the core. And yeah, we're gonna do mixtapes, we're gonna do like other things like concerts and stuff like that too.
Facts.
But I want that to be the repetitive thing that we're always doing one or the other,
Right.
um, because that's where my heart is. It's through
Yeah.
evangelizing through Christian hip hop and
That's fire.
creativity,
That's
and
fire.
yeah, it's been dope. And I just MOG, shout out to MOG. You just dropped that music video with him.
Yeah.
Um,
It was
his
dope,
site,
bro.
I got him on the podcast this Saturday. His ciphers dropping Friday. This man has been like so helpful with the community outreach. Like his
Right.
heart is crazy. I don't know if you've had him on your podcast
Not
yet,
yet.
but
We got
you
them locked
got
in.
to. You
Yeah.
got to,
Got them
because
locked
yeah,
in. Yeah.
he shared, his growing up in Skid Row and all these different things, and I had family that was in Skid Row. I'm just like, to see. Obviously, we have different avenues, but we were
Right.
both really in the world,
Right.
and to see how God has transformed us, and how we both have that heart for like the community outreach. I'm
Facts.
just like, bro. And I wouldn't have met him if it wasn't for the Cypher and the
Cipher.
SoCal Revival Fest, bro.
Come on,
Like, it's all
somebody.
this stuff. Yeah, all this stuff is crazy. Just like, stop trying to gatekeep.
Yeah.
If your heart isn't for the Lord, work, and your network is just gonna blow up with other kingdom warriors. And
Yeah.
I just don't get like how people could have, like, don't have that heart. Like, it's
Right.
wild to me.
Right. Right. And it just trips you out, man, because now they're knocking at the door.
I'm not gonna
Now,
say names, but yes,
yeah, they're
yes,
knocking at the door, man,
yeah,
and it's good though. It's good, because I'll tell you what, big dog. When we did the revival fest, bro, we were getting the negative Nancy's, bro.
really,
The negative Nancy's. What business is gonna give you money? What business is gonna give you money to put on a show that they're not gonna get no return back? What business is gonna help you out? And what God showed me was, hey, it's a train. Either they're with you or not. Keep
hmm
moving. And I was like, what? Say less, God. I'm trucking away, trucking away.
yeah,
Because of the obedience, bro. Like you focus on God and not what they're saying. The next week we ended up getting a sponsor because we weren't focused on that. You know what I mean? It did hurt a little bit. You're like, dang, maybe he's right.
yeah,
But then
yeah,
God was like, no, no, no. Hey, get your focus, you get your mind focused back on me. And when you're trucking away, bro,
yeah,
same with you. It's like, bro, like just imagine if you didn't reach out. Just
yeah,
imagine, bro. Like it's crazy,
yeah.
man.
It is. It is. I don't even remember when I reached. I don't even remember how it happened. To be honest, I don't remember our first
Neither
communication.
do I.
I don't.
Yeah,
But yeah, bro. It's just been super collaborative
yeah,
instantly.
yeah.
Instantly.
Well, I want to ask you though, big dog. What are some challenges that you face as a Christian entrepreneur in this business?
Um, money.
Got you.
Money for sure.
Right.
I had to, man, over the last year or so, I've had to cut a lot of avenues of revenue that were coming my way,
Got you.
because I felt that if I dedicated my time to those, I wasn't going to be able to pour into Christway as much as
Wow.
I should.
Wow.
And while it's still not coming how I think it could, like, I'm okay with it, because like I'm happy doing it.
Right.
And I have faith that if I remain obedient, if I remain obedient,
That's good.
give my word and follow scripture, etc., that he will bless it. Um, but
Faith.
that was a big one, and that was a big leap of faith too, bro. I'm talking about a couple thousand a month, where I was just like, I if I focus on those, I'm gonna be getting pulled too many directions. I'm gonna have too many clients, um, that I'm not gonna be able to do what I'm doing.
That's good.
And it's getting there. You talk about sponsorships. That's something I need to start. working on too, the teams with the podcast and the ciphers, I'm like,
Facts.
we need to start adding sponsors to them, and because I'm pretty much putting all the investing into it,
Right.
and while I have faith that it'll in the long run it'll pay off, but it's just like I have to start thinking, logically, so I'm not in the red, and then it's something that
Right.
just can't keep going.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
but yeah, that was a big one. Another one is
But
ooh,
what's that one saying, bro? Closed mouths don't get fed.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
uh-huh.
if you're sitting there, you're just like, that's one thing that I'm very big on, and I tell my team that too, is faith without works is dead. So if
Hmm.
you're not putting in the work and you're just expecting it to fall on your lap,
Yeah,
it
no.
ain't happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
not at
if
all.
you have a team and you build a team, like what we did with the Revival Fest, bro, is we were out there, bro. And
Yeah,
we're talking to different people. One of the sponsors was a carne spot. It was a meat spot. Never in my mind would I ever think that
yeah,
they would have been a sponsor, bro. But when I walked in, I was like, "This is what we're doing for the community." The guy said, "Say less," wrote the check out, and gave it to us right then and there. And
yeah,
I was like, wait, hold on. This is what you get. No, it's cool. Here you go. And I was
yeah,
like, man, God, that's all you.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Amen.
if you sit down and you're just like, all right, it's gonna fall on my lap, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that. I was just talking to the team about that this weekend too. Like, we need to get out there more. Well, hey, thank you too for donating.
Yeah.
Like, we've had some donations for the community outreach that's going
Yes,
to
sir.
help pay for the food and everything we're doing. But I told them, I was like, we need to get more active. We got to get more active, and because it's not just about making money either. Like, these
Right.
donations, we got to feed people, we got to clothe them, buy them stuff.
Right.
But like, I started doing the CHRISTWAY productions. We just
Okay.
launched that, I don't know, last week or so, and I was just like, all right, I got videographers, I got photographers, I got me who does mixing and mastering. Let's offer those services on the
Ooh,
side.
fire.
That way, we could be making money to fund these things as well.
That's good.
So that's something, expanding that. And I'll say this, another challenge that I think I've heard some people struggle with, and I struggled with too, and it's something that I need to. I go back to posture. Posture is a thing I've been really hitting on lately, and
Right.
it's minimizing my faith to be accepted by people, or trying not to be so bold about my faith to try to have these
Got you.
partnerships. And if I have to do that, I shouldn't be working with those individuals,
Wow.
because like
Wow.
this, how can I be ashamed of Jesus? Like, what if Jesus was ashamed of me on the cross? Like, I can't show shame. Like,
That's
I
so
have to be,
good.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's one thing, is like, if they don't accept me and my beliefs, or the brand and what we're about,
Yeah.
cool. There's plenty of other ones, but there's a
Right.
lot of people who, me perhaps in the past, or people are struggling with, that you might have to like turn the volume down a little bit on your faith. It's just like, nah, maybe they're just not for you.
Yeah.
If you don't have to sacrifice your beliefs for money. You know what I'm saying?
That's fire, bro. That's a door that's closed that God, you're trying to kick that door
Yeah,
open, bro.
exactly.
God's saying like, yo, it's time to shut this door, otherwise you ain't gonna grow. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Man, that's fire, bro. Somebody said in the chat that's a quote right there. That's a bar, man. That's a bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, can you share a story that your business has impacted somebody's life through Christway Media? Has anybody shared that with you or
Mm. I would just say it's like, I've had people uh, come to me and tell me that, like, kind of what I just said, actually, like they were, um, kind of lukewarm and unsure of how they were going to, you know, do music, or other like jobs. Like, one of them was like a nail, nail. I don't know what I'm sorry about the
and
name.
like a
I'm not
nail
sure.
tech, or
Yeah,
something?
there you
Yeah,
go. Like
yeah,
that. And I had multiple people like that, because at my school, before I used to kind of just be like, oh, I work in music, and I'm just like, no, I work in Christian hip hop. Like that's what I
Come
say
on,
now.
somebody,
But
you weren't
before
playing
I used,
around.
yeah.
There we go.
So I was like bold about that, and I would do presentations with business presentations, and I'd be like Christian hip hop, this and this and this, and people started like telling me like, oh, I was kind of like unsure about it. I've been going to church more because seeing you and how passionate you are about what you're doing. They got into Christian hip hop, and they'll send
Wow.
me like, oh, they'll be like, oh, have you heard of this artist? And of course I have because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
really into it. But
yeah.
I'm just like, oh yeah, they're dope, and they're like getting into it. I'm like, all right, cool. Like you just never know who's watching or who's like on that fence, and your passion, your zeal,
Yeah,
your vigor for the Lord and your calling is could get them over that fence.
that's
And
good.
that's something that I felt like, oh wow, like this is motivating. Like, all right, I'm headed down the right path. Now, through the page, I've had a lot of people like thanking me
Yeah,
for, opportunities and stuff like that. But that to me is a little more impactful because like to kind of help people get off the fence or like turn
yeah,
the heat up so they're not so lukewarm.
right.
That has been like, okay, that's my goal, is to be a bridge. I just want to be a bridge, Christian hip
Yeah,
hop, and like, because you see the world today. Obviously, we're a little
yeah,
older, so if we could look back like 20 years, there
right.
wasn't rappers on the commercials now,
Nah,
or commercials. Now you see
nothing.
rappers doing everything. So
Yeah,
clearly,
facts.
hip hop is powerful. It's a powerful tool. So if the world's gonna use it, uh, to corrupt minds or the youth, like we should use that same tool to glorify God. And that's what I'm all about.
That's so fire, man, because you just touched on a subject that a lot of people are scared to talk about, man. Is what the world is doing. The world is really corrupting our kids'
Bad,
lives, man. And
bad.
but what's going on is, I don't know if you see it now, the Christian hip hop industry has leveled up. You know what I mean? I don't know if you see it. It's leveled up. It's no longer, at a base. It's like people are starting to see that Christian hip hop is at a, like, we're moving up. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
okay, like the music is not just a regular simple hip hop. Like, now these beats are banging, dog. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, these beats are hard, and salute to Miles Minnick and the glow team, man, because they're really
Yeah.
maneuvering us to a different position. Do I agree with the mainstream media being a part of it? I don't. Me personally, I think we should build our own lane, and we should do something major to where they're looking at us and
Yeah.
they want to
Uh-huh.
be like us instead of us trying to be like them, right?
Yeah.
Because we need SoCal Revival Fest. We need Christway Media challenges. We need Christway Media, pages to promote the
Yeah.
Christian hip hop. We don't need Coachella. We don't need
Amen.
all these other platforms, bro. But the problem is that there's no platforms to give our Christian hip hop artists,
Yeah.
or let alone Christian artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so once we level that up, bro, they're going to be coming to us and saying,
Yeah.
hey, how do I get on here? Well, you need to go through a
Yeah.
discipleship program first. You need to build.
Yeah.
You need to stop playing
Yeah.
around and stop dabbling with both sides of the fence, that trying to be in the world and not in Christ as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
No,
crazy,
that's a
bro. Yeah, I got a
good.
lot to say about it.
No, no, that's dope, bro. That's dope.
Yeah,
Because absolutely, I agree. And yeah, like what you're saying, it's like the Dove Awards aren't gonna mean as much to our community until we start shunning the other ones.
facts.
Instead of celebrating these awards, let's treat the Dove Awards, those type of awards, the Kingdom Award, the Kingdom Choice Awards, etc.
Right,
Like we should be celebrating that instead of like when you get that secular worldly platform, that award,
right.
instead of pushing that everywhere. Like no, let's start pushing
Get
the
our own
kingdom.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's dope. I
Oh
like
man,
that a lot.
we gotta do a Christway SoCal Revival Fest award
Bro,
show, dog. Woo, my
let's
goodness,
go,
bro.
bro.
Man, submit your music. We'll find the
Bro.
we'll find the right channel. We'll get the judges, and boom, there we go.
No, no,
The
like facts.
Christway Awards, bro.
I'm 100%. I'm 100% down with that, bro. Let's
That's
do that.
fire, bro. I want to ask you real quick. Is What advice would you give a Christian, up and coming Christian entrepreneur?
Um, well, this one outside of business, but you have to is get in your word. Get
That's
in
good.
that word. That before anything. Something I like to do is I forgot where I read it or heard it. Like I get up and before I consume, like if I'm going to consume anything first, it better be the word.
That's good.
Because the first thing we do is you grab your phone or
Facts.
TV or
Facts.
this and that, or I'm going to get a coffee to wake up. Like get in your word first
That's good.
because you start doing other things, you'll get distracted. And at the end of the day, if the word is everything.
Good.
That's
That's
everything.
good.
So besides that, I would say to find out the gifts, tying it back to First Peter 4:10, like what gifts has God given you? Like it doesn't have to be music. It could be T-shirts. It could
Right.
be personal training or numbers like taxes, like we do like helping people, families, businesses like that.
Facts.
Like if that's a gift you have and that brings you joy, be like, all right, cool, do what you got to do to get certified or be able to make money there and then use
Facts.
that and then be bold in your faith, maybe reach out to Christian entrepreneur, etc., and work with people. There's ways to tie both, but
Right.
be bold in your faith, but for sure do it in a graceful way.
Right.
Um and this is a tough one. Not everyone can do this. I've learned that it's a gift that God has given me, is
Right.
that self-belief.
That's good.
And this is
Good.
something I've talked to people, and it's sad that some people don't have it. I didn't know everyone didn't have it,
Right.
but you have, like, you can't expect people to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. So,
Fire.
like, how is someone
Oh,
going to believe in your business if you don't believe in your
that's
business?
so
So,
good.
like, me personally, like I've talked to people and everything I want to do in life, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm gonna do them all. Like there's
Facts.
just no doubt. And I've talked to you on here about
Yeah.
the hip hop society and things failed and people are like, man, I would have just quit at that point. I'm just like, no, in my mind that's not how it works. It's like, all
It's
right, that
business.
didn't work out, adjust, let me try again. That didn't work out. Okay, keep evolving, keep evolving. And a lot of people, they try something out, it doesn't work out, and they're like, all right, that's done, and then that's over with. And that's just not how my mind works. And I have learned that that's something I've been blessed with. So I'm very grateful for that. But you can't teach that. So I would say something I like to do is, besides the word, I do a lot of like sermons or like, do you know who Eric Thomas is or Billy Osbrooks?
No.
They're both
Nuh-uh.
Christian motivational speakers.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
like to listen to that during the day, and sometimes you're going through things and
Right.
they tie it with the word and just motivation. I love like motivational content.
That's
Like that's
fire.
yeah. So
That's
that
fire.
that kind of changes your perspective. But yeah, I say those would be like the biggest things of advice.
Stay in the Bible. Stay in your word.
Yeah,
Stay in the
for sure.
word and believe
Number
in
one.
yourself.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's heavy, man. One of my pastors that I'm real close with, his name is Pastor Lloyd Ziegler. He has said that if you have to believe in yourself and your business for everybody else to believe.
Yeah,
And it was so good. He didn't say it like that, man. The way you said it was just like, it was on point, man. Like
yeah.
you have to believe. So like with the SoCal Revival Fest, man, God has showed me it was going to be about roughly 4,000 people. And
Man.
when the numbers started coming in, bro, like the people were signing up, it ended up going to 4,500 people that signed up. And it was like, it blew my mind because now people are sitting there like, really? 4,500 people signed up? Yeah, they signed up. That was all God
Yeah,
because we believed in it. We knew it was going to happen. You know what I mean? So I believe this one's going to be about 8,000. You know what I mean? That's the
bro.
plan.
Not only that, it's like you have
Yeah.
so much data now, and in a
Yeah.
world that's big on numbers, like
Right.
you now have numbers for sponsors.
Right.
This is how many people came, this and this. This is how much
Facts.
money was spent buying stuff.
Facts.
And even like with the hotel, like the multiple day thing, like you have so much more options to bring in revenue for SoCal Revival Fest.
Yeah.
So I know there's no doubt it might go to 10,000. You
Man,
just
come
you just
on,
have those
somebody.
numbers, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be way bigger, and I know all the data you have now
Right.
is just gonna do you guys like so much justice, so much help, and
Yeah.
really give you guys that platform that you deserve. Because that too, bro, like your heart, like you could just tell what your intentions are and who you're doing it for.
Right.
So like, man, I anything that comes your way of success, bro, I'm gonna be so happy for you.
Thank you, bro.
Like you deserve all those blessings, bro.
Thank
So
you.
yeah. And again, any help you need with anything, I'm more than glad. Cause bro, it's been a blessing since we've encountered each other. It's been nothing but blessings.
Nothing but blessed, man. And this podcast, bro, has already been 52 minutes, man.
Oh
And
yeah.
man, it's been going so smooth, so just what I expected, man. Just from you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, man. And we got to see your business, your life. You know what I mean? How you have Christ centered in your business, man. Before we end this live, I want to ask you, man, is there anything you want to leave everybody with? Anything you want to let the fans know? Or anybody that's on here right now?
Um, if it's a fan, I would just say that try to get out of that secular world. I know I don't know why people struggle so much with giving up secular content. And I personally, as hard as it has been, like I've been cutting off like certain comedy, certain TV, like I've been just cutting because I'm just trying to make sure what I'm consuming is gonna produce
That's
fruit
good.
for the Lord. You know saying?
That's
And I
good.
know if I listen to a certain thing, I'm gonna talk to people differently or joke in ways that I shouldn't.
Facts.
So just monitor what you're consuming, and that's why we're here. We're here to have these platforms, create platforms for you to encounter all these artists,
Right.
and just keep working on doing that and water this CHH space, pour into it so that people who are lukewarm or they're struggling, like they'll see it and be able to, you may change career paths or just keep growing in it and in their faith.
That's good.
And then as for entrepreneurs or artists, um I would just say like what we did, don't gatekeep and don't be so close-minded and look to what you can get out of a partnership or a
That's fire.
collaboration.
Fire.
Just work with people and talk to them. And if they want to glorify God as much as you are and you get nothing in return, cool, because you got to glorify
Yes.
God. And that's a win.
Good.
That's a W.
That's
So I would say that just be more open to that. Because look at where we're at and where we're headed, bro. Like I know
yeah.
our hearts and how we're approaching it is just we're just gonna keep getting blessed.
That's
And
good.
it's been beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
It's been beautiful. And
That's
I would
good.
say that just because there's a lot of, don't get me wrong, I struggle. Did that stop my audio? I got a call.
Yeah, it
Oh, it
did.
did.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, that I've struggled with ego and pride in myself, but when it comes to CHH or Christway, I don't let it. It's more of like a personal ego pride thing.
That's
You
good.
might be driving or something that pride, some road rage stuff.
Yeah.
But
Comes out. Yep.
yeah, but like I'm talking about like working wise, like drop that ego. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. If you have 1 or 1 million, we're still all human beings. Treat everybody with
Good.
love, with dignity, with respect,
That's good.
um, and just be open to, like I said, collaborations because it shouldn't be about you, what you get out of it. It should be pointing everyone to the cross. Um,
That's
yeah,
good.
that'd be it.
Man, that's so good, man. This is I just want to say thank you, brother. Thank you for being a part of this Get Motivated podcast. The first episode, man. It was such a dope time just getting to know
Yeah,
who Christway Media is and what you guys do and your foundation and how you keep Christ as a center of this business, man. But I just want to say thank you, brother. Where can they follow you? Where can they
no.
follow you? Or
Well,
just
first, thank you. Thank you for even having me in mind for the first one. I
yeah,
appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Everything is Christway Inc. Because when I had to register for the nonprofit, they
right,
wanted in California, they wanted me to add Inc. or Corp,
yeah.
and I was like, corporation sounds too crazy.
It sounds too
Let,
heavy. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Let me go with the Inc. So everything is Christway Inc. CHRISTWAYINC on everything. Website, YouTube, TikTok, everything's the same thing. That's where we're at. you've been seeing. We've been working more on the exclusive content when it comes to podcasts. Everything that we're going to be doing now is going to be CHRISTWAY content.
That's good.
We are going to promote people, but
Yeah.
like before we might cover some news. Now we're like, you know what? Like we're doing so much. Let's just focus on what we're doing.
Facts.
And then I've been putting my ugly mug on more things more often, just so people
That's
know who's
dope.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a lot of content coming.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's exciting, bro. And
Man,
honestly, to get motivated, bro, I'm motivated right now. I'm about to get some
come on,
work.
somebody.
I'm
Come
about to
on,
get some work,
somebody,
bro.
man. We got a whole lineup, bro. Like August, September, October is all booked.
Yeah, that's
That's
dope,
that's
bro.
that's
That's
just God
dope.
right there, man, on the
Amen.
vision. But bro, this is episode number 1 on the Get Motivated podcast with my brother Jesse from the CHRISTWAY Media Incorporation. Make sure you guys go follow him. Make sure you guys go. We got big announcements coming soon. But Big Dog, thank you for being on the live. We truly appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.